Okay. Good evening, good morning. It's evening for
Good evening.
me, morning for you. So we
Good
are here
evening.
to do another reading of the book Universe is Calling by Eric Butterworth. And we are on I looked on our last video and we stopped on page 66 there. So we will go from here.
Okay.
Uh, and he left off here. God can do no more for you than he can do through you. Emmett Fox says, when you hold resentment against anyone, you are bound to that person by a cosmic link, a really rough metal chain. You are tied by a cosmic tie to the very thing you hate. The thing you hate is inexorably a part of your consciousness. The one person in the whole world whom you most dislike is the very one to whom you are attaching yourself by a hook that is stronger than steel. And don't delude yourself that when you pray, you bypass all this and achieve God's forgiveness. In the Lord's Prayer, Jesus says, forgive us our debts as we also have forgiven our debtors. God forgives as we forgive. But that is not entirely correct, for God doesn't really forgive because there is no unforgiveness in him. God is love, and through the attitude of forgiveness, we open ourselves to that love. Love is always and eternally present, but we block it with our resistance. Jesus' statement is like saying the sun comes streaming in the window and we raise the blinds. But of course we know that the sun doesn't really come in, it simply shines, and we accept the light and warmth as we eliminate the barrier. There is a tendency to rush pell-mell into prayer without adequate preparation. Like the man with his escape boat, we neglect to cut ourselves free from that which binds. Let go. This is the first step in scientific prayer. There are three important steps which we will outline in this chapter and the next two. The second step is going within to experience your oneness with infinite power in a process called meditation or the silence. And the third step is the projection of that power through affirmation of truth or spiritual treatment. The interesting thing is that many times, just in the process of letting go, we open the answering flow immediately, and the problem is solved or the condition healed, with no further prayer effort required. Wow. Many times, just in the process of letting go. And I think that's when we hold on to things and trying to okay, this thing is just bugging me, and we just keep thinking about this thing and oh, how much it bugs. That's holding on to it. Just let it go. Just like opening your hands and letting it go, letting go whatever it is that is bugging us. As we pointed out earlier, there is a cosmic counterpart in infinite mind to every human need, along with a desire to fill that need. Do you have any thoughts you'd like to share?
Yeah, means like what he says that when you hate another person, it's basically it is being bound by the cosmic link, which is stronger than steel. And he's also talking about letting go, the process of letting go. Yeah, those two things are very powerful for me.
You want to read?
Okay. The confusion of praying to God in prayer book language and a pleading tone is normally counterproductive, serving to block the flow rather than to open the way to prayer's answer. There is an old time religious hymn, take it to the Lord in prayer. Take all your troubles, your woes, your anxieties to God. We were told by the preachers. However, when we catch the idea and the feeling of the transcendent nature of God, a new and starting realization dawns. Don't take it to the Lord at all. God doesn't want your negativity. God is light, and in that light, there can be no darkness of limitation. We are told the art of purer eyes than to behold evil. It may be helpful to take inventory of your needs, even to make a list of the troubles I have seen. This list, however, is not for God, but to remind you of what you are holding on to. Once the list is complete, then its purpose has been fulfilled. Lay it aside, better it, put it into the fireplace where it will be consumed. Watch the paper be swallowed up in flames. Get the sense of freedom as you consciously let go. Now you are ready to let God. Jesus said, do not judge by appearances, but judge with righteous judgment, a technique for dealing with appearances, as suggested by Emily Cady in her classic work, Lessons in Truth, is Daniel. There is no absence of life, substance, or intelligence anywhere. There are no good empty spots. I have no fear. These are simple denials. By making statements like this, you tend to correct your perspective, seeing beyond the appearance. However, there is a lot of confusion about this. To deny a thing does not mean to refuse to deal with it. Rather, it is the most effective way of dealing with it. When you have a problem, don't say there is no problem, but rather there are unanswerable problems. There are no unanswerable problems. You are denying that the appearance tells the whole story. So you tell the whole story, which is the basis of an affirmation or treatment. The denial is a letting go of shapeless of limitation. The interesting thing is that when you have a concern over some difficulty which has caused you to pray about it, you approach your prayer with a built-in anxiety or tension. Thus, the very first step in science of prayer is the consciousness act of letting go. If you begin your prayer with a judgment about the severity of the problem, you are saying in effect, boy, this is going to be a difficult one. You may clench your fists and tense your body. It will be very much like driving with the brakes on. So settle with this attitude of hopelessness. Deny it, let it go. Prayer is no time for physical tension. If your hands are taut, that is a good signal that you need to let go. You may say, I have prayed all night about this problem, but you are deluding yourself. That was not prayer. You are holding on to problem under the problem all night. You may have commenced your prayer with dear Lord and concluded with Amen, but you probably had an orgy of worry and self-pity in between. Let go and let God. It is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. The whole universe is conspiring to establish you in the health and harmony. Let go and let it unfold. The universe is calling you to wholeness. I think I'll stop here. Uh, yeah, it's basically saying that everything is within you, and the prayer is also not needed. You just have to let go, I think.
Yeah, it's like, you know, uh, some people say it's not about being happy. Well, no, it's not, but it's if you want to be happy, you have to just decide to be happy because happiness doesn't come from outside of you, just like anything else does not come from outside of you. It's just simply changing your state of mind from thinking you have a problem to just simply letting go of it. And now, if you let go of it, you don't have the problem anymore. It's not in your hands anymore. So, you know, if you have a hot coal in your hand, you call that a problem. Well, if you would just drop it, you wouldn't have a problem anymore. You might still be your hand might still be burning or something, but at least you've let go of what's causing the burn. And so that's with so many other things, but we've been so conditioned to think we need to take our problems to God, and but God doesn't want them. He's not he's not in the business of taking our problems. It's I like how he talk, talk takes is write it down and then throw it in the fire, burn it. It's the problem only exists in your mind. Whatever happened in the past doesn't actually exist except in your mind. Prayer does not make answers. It simply accepts that it simply accepts answers that are always within. Before they call, I will answer. Prayer is not an attempt to get through to God, to get your requests on the spindle on his desk, so to speak. This is not what prayer is about. The need is to relax the involuntary tensions of the mind and to let go and give way to the life and substance of spirit. It is not as much a thing to do as it is a thing to let be done. Relax, let go, and let God. We say the word so easily, but we must realize that it is a depth uncovered. Just relax and let go. God, the creative flow, is realized in you. Just let it happen. If you keep emphasizing how terrible things are, how bad you feel, how much you hurt, there will be no help, no communion, no awakening to the flow. Prayer is centering your attention on the truth of wholeness. This may well be your biggest problem, not the conditions or persons that are harassing you, but your tendency to hold on to them. Freedom calls for a dramatic act of letting go. Here is an illustration that may help you to get the picture. An interesting system has been used for capturing monkeys in the jungles of Africa. The goal is to take the monkeys alive and unharmed for shipment to the zoos of America. In an extremely humane way, the captors use heavy bottles with long, narrow necks into which they deposit a handful of sweet-smelling nuts. The bottles are dropped on the jungle floor, and the captors return the next morning to find a monkey trapped next to each bottle. How is it accomplished? The monkey, attracted by the aromatic scent of the nuts, comes to investigate the bottle, puts its arm down the long, narrow neck, closes its hand around the nuts, and is trapped. The monkey can't take its hand out of the bottle as long as it's holding the nuts, but it is unwilling to open its hand and let them go. The bottle is too heavy to carry away, so the monkey is trapped. We may smile at the foolish monkeys, but how often we hold on to our problems as tenaciously as the monkeys hold to the nuts in the bottle. And so, figuratively, we carry our bottle around with us, feeling very sorry for ourselves and begging for sympathy from others, even from God. I may go to see an analyst or a spiritual counselor dragging my bottle with me. I take my seat, lifting the bottle onto my lap and say, I have this problem, see? The counselor tries to help correct my thinking, and possibly we conclude the interview with a time of prayer. I express appreciation, saying I have been helped. Then I pick up my bottle and leave, dragging the bottle behind me. All the counseling in the world cannot help me until I let go of the nuts. I may complain that the problem is with people or conditions, the way people treat me at work, or they fired me without notice. But in every case, the trouble is not what happened to me, it is what I am doing about what is happening in me. We are told God has made man upright, but they have sought out many inventions. God made the monkey to climb and run free, but the monkey decided to clasp its hands on the nuts, and it was trapped. God made you whole and healthy, but in some way beyond your conscious awareness, you may have frustrated the divine flow, and thus you may be holding on to your problem. You will not let it go. The monkey was always a free monkey, but it was bound by its failure to understand itself. At any time it had the power to say to its hand, "Open," and you have the power to say to yourself, "I let go of fear and worry and resentment and regret. I let it all go." Thus, at any time you feel that you are acting like a monkey, you have the power to give away, to let go and let flow. Oh, that is so illustrative of how we sometimes live our life. Um, I see so many people, they they talk about letting go, and even that saying to I let go, if some people will say it, but they still don't let go. So I think there has to be more than just saying it. You literally have to let go. I mean, like the
And when it is
did you want to say something?
1 minute here.
Okay. I'll go on reading. Here is an imaging exercise for you to work with. Take another inventory listing all the challenges, conflicts, and difficulties that you may have. Let them be symbolized by the nuts in the bottle with the long, narrow neck. Feel your hand clasping a nut. Feel the frustration and pain of entrapment. Ask yourself, am I content to have this bottle? Do I really want to be free? There is only one way. Open your hand and feel your arm slipping out of the bottle. You are free. You might say, I let go of resistance, resentment, and anxiety. Let it all go. There is no way to gain freedom unless you let go. Even God cannot set you free unless you follow the freeing call to let go. Face forward and let go. Uh, Something that comes to my mind is that uh, when we have maybe if someone has done a an injustice to us, or at least a perceived injustice, we tend to start uh, speaking to ourselves, like it's our self-talk. We start having a conversation about how bad this person treated us, and resentment starts building up within us. And we're like, well, I can't let this go because, I mean, after all, that person, did this to me. But that is exactly what I believe he's talking about here, is that we have to let go, we have to change our self-talk, the conversation that we have with ourselves. And
Yeah, it's easier than said. I think it's happens to all the people. I think unknowingly.
Yeah.
It's not all the people. It may happen to many people unknowingly that they could have done one time, but in our mind we keep repeating millions of times. That grows bigger and bigger and bigger because we create a wound. That wound create resentment wound becomes bigger and bigger and bigger until we realize or we will be very busy, which we have no time to think about it. That's why basically I see that work is cure for many things. Being busy or doing things. It's otherwise if the man's empty minds is something called a devil's mind or something. That's the thing is basically something is going with me also right now, but I am unable to let go because I don't have basically I have a lot of leisure time to contemplate on that. Not doing any much of productive work, and it keeps running in the head continuously. As soon as I wake up from the bed, as soon as before I go to sleep, and in the middle, and all those things. And they are saying let go, but I don't know how, how far I can do that. Yeah.
it's
This
it's a decision. You have to,
even though decision, but this mind still basically negatives are attracted to the mind very heavily than the positives. We forget all the things what they done good. We only remember what we think that is a bad. That person could have done many things good, but we don't remember at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What we perceive as the bad will cling on it and we will hold and we'll chew on it. We'll keep chewing. There is no end to it. Mm.
We the the sad part is it's doing no one more harm than ourselves.
Yeah, it's basically, yeah, it's doing more harm. Basically, they're saying that cosmic link it's stronger than
Yeah.
steel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, you want to go ahead and read?
yeah. Relaxation is a vital step in getting into a prayer consciousness. It is the first step in scientific prayer. Prayer is not a physical activity, but if we are trapped in body consciousness, our way is effectively black. What does it mean, Leroy?
Relaxation is a vital step in getting into a prayer consciousness. It is the first step in scientific prayer. Prayer is not a physical activity. Like the the culture I grew up in, we had a prayer book, and we simply just read a prayer. And I guess you could say that would be a physical activity. But if we are trapped in a body consciousness, our way is effectively blocked. If we are trapped in a body consciousness, if if we, what is he saying? Is he just saying that if we think we're just a body, that's all that's all we are? It's just a body. We don't have the consciousness of the spirit.
No.
Eh,
Okay.
maybe I'm not sure
Yeah,
about that.
maybe yes.
Yeah, and so then we've we don't realize that we really have the power to the moment you let go, then your prayers is actually unnecessary, or there's no necessity to pray anymore if you just let go.
Yeah, thank you, Lira. It is important to establish yourself in the feeling of dominion. Dominion. You are not your body. You have a body, and the you that has the body has the power to master the body. Here is an exercise for establishing the feeling of dominion. Tell your right arm to rise and then to fall. Then the left arm rise and fall. It is one of the greatest lessons you can learn. And so very simple. Can you sense the impact? You see, you can control your body. You are in charge.
Yeah, we are in charge as a body. We simply command our body to do things.
Now have a drill in relaxation as training in a vital preparation for prayer. Sit in a chair, feet flat on the floor, body erect. Tell your hands to relax, let them drop loosely in your lap. Then working progressively from the top of your head to the tip of your toes. Go through all parts of your body, your forehead, your eyes, nose, mouth, chin, neck, etc. Saying in order, relax, let go. Eventually get the sense that your body is a limp as a dish rag falling to heap on the floor. Just rest in a state long enough to feel a sense of dominion over the tension of the body and a symbolic sense of freedom over the anxieties and frustrations of the mind. This is one of the meditation technique, right? A lot of people use it. It's sit erect and basically with hands and feet are touching the down and sitting with hands and you just close the eyes and you remember you just take your concentration onto each and every part of the body
Hmm.
to let go and relax, and it automatically relaxes you. This is also mentioned in one of the Dale Carnegie book that how to stop worry and start living, and he says
Okay.
start with ice, and
Okay.
ice is the most used part in the body that's continuously working 24 by 7. All of the parts can get rest for sometimes, but the
Hmm.
ice is the one which aggressively works every time. And that's why we need to start with eye to relax more of the eye. That's what he says.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I should I'll go back. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that'd be a good exercise to do, wouldn't it? Yeah. Okay.
In meditation, also, they use a lot of these things. In this type of things, basically, they start with top of the head and go all to the toes of the leg, tip of the toes. Start from the top of the bed and head.
Good,
I
good way.
attended many of the meditation sessions. They relax from the top of the head and each and every part they say, and basically lightly just take your concentration onto that part, uh, like invisible way of taking your concentration onto that part, not like heavy concentration, just lightly touching, just thinking, assuming, and moving on to another part.
Yeah, it sounds like a good way to that would wow, being able to relax so much that you feel like you're falling on a heap on the floor. That and it
Mm.
says, the amazing thing is he says rest in that state long enough to feel a sense of dominion over the tensions of the body and a symbolic oh, hang on. sense of freedom over the anxieties and frustrations of the mind. It actually, when you let go that way, and it makes sense to me. When you let go that way, is you actually have more. Then you feel your dominion. Actually, now you're in because you are in charge of your body rather than letting your body be in charge of you.
Mm.
Okay. All right. I think we only have about 2 pages left. So if you are still enough in mind and body, you experience the inspiration of the Almighty saying to you figuratively, if not actually, you are my beloved child. You are loved. You are free. You are whole. You are creative. You are successful. Remember, it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. The activity of God is always seeking to heal you, to bless you, to fill all your vessels with good. When you get yourself out of the way, the divine flow does its perfect work. However, it is not that you stir God to activity. You simply become receptive to the divine activity that is always present as a presence. It might be good to emphasize the connection between the words present and presence. The presence of God is present, ever present, omnipresent. The presence can never be absent, though at times we may be absent in consciousness. As Emerson says, if we can get away from the preconceived anthropomorphic notions, really break their hold on our mind, then God fires us with his presence. The words of Meister Eckhart speak dynamically to our need to let go as the basic step in the process of scientific prayer. God expects but one thing of you, and that is that you should come out of yourself insofar as you are a created being and let God be God in you. That is such a powerful message in that book. I'm just, yeah, yeah. I guess it came for such a time as this for me. It explains so much about prayer, and because of the way I was brought up about prayer, we were not guaranteed that we would get an answer to our prayer, or we were told that there's, you know, it was kind of like, well, maybe sometimes God says maybe, or sometimes God says wait, or sometimes he says no. But the Bible actually says that the only thing in God is yes and amen. There is no in God. So his answer is always affirmative. And the the problem is that he he is not he doesn't discriminate on what you ask for. Whatever you ask for, he gives it to you, whether it's good or bad, because it's the same power that causes as Bob Proctor would always say, it's the same power that you can plant sweet corn or nightshade. The same power makes both of it grow. Nightshade being a deadly poison. So, yeah. Do you have any final
Mm.
thoughts before we?
It's all up to us, I think. Basically, what you think. It's all boiled down to what you think.
Yeah.
Whether you want to be victim of your mind, whether you want to be master of your mind. It's basically, if you learn the letting go, uh, basically letting go and let relax, then that is the way to do it, I think. When you, as long as you are in relaxed state, everything will flow into you. The divine creativity flows into you. Otherwise, when you are in not in relaxed state, you are obstructing the divine flow. Basically, you are putting blocks onto it, like you are putting brakes and driving or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Trying to drive down the road with your brakes on. Yes.
Mm.
Yeah, that was a good illustration. All right. Thank you, Swartha, and I will see you
Thank you,
next
Leroy.
time. So,
Mm.
bye.
Thank you.